How's that for some nostalgia, huh? That's right, we're going to be doing a Dreamcast game this time. This is one that is not super obscure, but not super well known. It's from a franchise near and dear to my heart, that being the Mobile Suit Gundam franchise, and it's a pretty cool and pretty unique one. There's a cool intro here, which I'm going to, I guess, talk over, because why not? Essentially, this is taking place during the One-Year War, so during the original series, and it is sort of a side story, hence the name. It takes place completely apart from the events of the original series, but as you find out through the story, the events end up being pretty important. I do really like this intro because it actually sort of looks like it's news footage or, you know, war photographer footage, which is pretty cool. I like the way they've done it. Now this is the US version of the game, and there is no option for Japanese voiceover. However, the dubbing in this game is actually very good. Imagine that. So I don't begrudge them. In fact, the voice cast does a very good job. You obviously in this are going to be playing as the Federation, but you get to see a good number of Zeon mobile suits, which I will not spoil. Although some of them, of course, show up in the intro here. And this is a game that's actually pretty difficult. In fact, I remember having a heck of a time actually beating it when I was younger. This came out in 2000, I think, which was probably around when I got it originally. So I had to sit down and kind of learn the game again in order to do this playthrough. But we'll get into the actual game as we get into it. Hey, look, it's the white base! You will not be seeing the white base at all during the rest of the game. But you'll hear a couple references to them, which is cool.
And in Australia, which took the brunt of Operation British's damage, a counterattack against the Zeon forces has just begun to unfold as well.
Which leads us to the game title. So here we are, Gundam Side Story 0079, Rise from the Ashes. It's a pretty good one, honestly. Takes some getting used to. You're gonna want to, we're gonna start a new game. And I'm gonna shut up now so you can hear some of the voice acting, get some story and background.
Like Dingos, you have an emergency mission. As I'm sure you know, revised counterattack plan against the Zeon forces we've decided on consists of a simultaneous attack on the Darwin region in the north, the city of Adelaide in the south, and Alice Springs in the central region. The invasion of Alice Springs in the central region is what we're calling the signal to begin the operation. Our aim is to not only cut the enemy's rail lines, but to also deliver a decisive blow and weaken the strength of all their forces around the world. Currently, our primary corps, better known as Red Possum, is doing its utmost to engage them. However, a problem has recently cropped up in Rainbow Valley. Our reconnaissance forces have confirmed that the enemy's defense line has more anti-air and ground emplacements than we had first anticipated. Unfortunately, it looks like the enemy somehow found out how we'd begin our counterattack. For the rest of the operation to work, we must avoid exhausting all of Red Possum's strength here. However, their advance mustn't be slowed either. That's why we're going to insert you white dingoes into Rainbow Valley by air. Your presence is essential if we're going to stand a fighting chance against these fearless marauders. Your top priority is to neutralize those enemy ground and anti-air emplacements. Make sure Red Possum's advance is swift and successful. Due to the mission's timing, a tank battalion headed toward the front will arrive in the battle zone during your mission. We've been waiting for this opportunity for too long now. The future of the Federation is in your hands. You people are the best ones for this job. I expect to see you complete it quickly and decisively.
All right. Simple enough. Let's meet our team members now.
Lieutenant, we're about to move out. Get a final. Before we do, let's get a final confirmation on our mission code names for everyone. Lieutenant Rayer, the mobile suit you're in is designated Fang 1. Leon's unit is Fang 2. Mike's unit is Fang 3. My hover truck has been designated as Oasis. Please remember that.
Fang 2, Leon. Roger that.
Fang 3, Mike here, Roger.
Yeah, that's Steve Bloom.
Yeah, Anita's code name is gonna be Oasis. Kinda ironic, isn't it?
Hey, wait! What's that supposed to mean?
Hey, just kidding. It's a very appropriate name for our dear Anita. The lovely flower of the battlefield.
You better watch your back out on that battlefield.
I'm so scared.
Would you guys please knock it off with all that chatter? Lieutenant, can't you say something to them?
So as you can see, the crew members have pretty good personality, and their chatter during the battle is actually pretty cool. Also this dude. Bob Rock.
Hey there, Lieutenant Rayer. It's almost time to go. I'm here trying to get the mobile suit ready to move out for the operations. So if you got any suggestions, just let me know, all right?
Alright, so in this game, you are going to be piloting a GM. Yes, not a Gundam, not anything fancy, a GM. And if you've ever watched any Gundam, you know GM is not exactly the most powerful suit in the series, so you gotta be a little bit careful. At the beginning, you've got the GM and the GM cannon, you got a machine gun, and you got a rocket launcher. I'm going to be going with this setup. And let's hop right in. So your team, the White Dingos, have their own custom colors for the GM.
Hey there, White Dingos. We're at the drop point now. All set? Hatch open.
So you're not going to be red and white, you're going to be sort of white and gray,
Good luck, guys.
which gives it a grittier sort of feel to it. And what's pretty cool about this game in comparison to a lot of other Gundam games, we'll see when it gets going. That white dingo logo is pretty cool.
All units confirmed down. No problems. Minovsky particle output at combat density. I'm not picking up any large-scale movement in the enemy area. It seems like we may have caught them off guard. A meteor shower. Remnants of the colony drop.
Maybe they're the souls of all those that were killed in the drop, drawn back by the Earth's gravity. Wow, what an incredible sight to behold.
Mike, you sound like a poet.
Don't make fun of what I said. I'm totally serious. This land here is charged with the power of hatred for the Zeon. I can feel it in my bones, too.
Power from the dead, is that what you're talking about? You mean the Zeon woke up a sleeping lion, don't you? Except we're dingoes, not lions. Dingoes are dogs. Don't you remember? Lieutenant, let's get started, immediately.
Yeah, I'll show those Zeeks just how much power I got.
Fang 3. Enthusiasm's good, but don't let it get in the way of teamwork. Fang 1, I'll be waiting for your instructions.
Alright. So the cool thing about this game, it's actually in first person.
This is Oasis. Lieutenant, let's start off right by taking out those annoying
Now, a
anti-air
big part of
and
this
ground
game
replacements.
is ordering your teammates around. Because you're in a gym, you can't just rush in and take on 50 Zaku's at once. You really got to use your team. So I'm going to set them to guard me right at the beginning, so that they'll just sort of follow me. And the game does a pretty good job of making you feel the scale.
Oasis to Fang 1. I'm
Oh,
picking
hello.
up a contact signal from a civilian building. Checking it out.
Let's use the cannon a little bit. Now, in comparison to, say for instance you played Federation vs. Zeon, the mobile suits are a lot more durable in this, so they take a lot more shots to go down. However, you can go down very quickly. In fact, it's not hard to die to a single Zaku. You are in a gym after all. Nice. And that's why it's very important to use your teammates. Now, in addition to the ranged weapons, there is a melee system, which we will check out. What you gotta watch out for, though, is that if your teammates are using explosive weapons, they will shoot at the enemy and sometimes hit you. So, you gotta watch out for that. Alright, so, we're gonna get, well, this early mission is pretty easy, so I'm actually gonna take out everything myself. But later on, we're going to use our teammates to attack some other suits and, you know, run some distractions, that sort of thing. Now, the annoying thing about the melee system is that it actually just auto-switches when you get within, like, I think it's 100 distance, 100 meters. So, there's not really a way to just pull the saber out or put it away. Nice. You can get behind the enemy and knock them down. That's always a good, good way to do it. See, I really like the banter between them, like when they start to take damage. Anyways, these guys are not really that much of a threat, as I'm sure you've noticed. But we'll see some guys that definitely are coming up, well, pretty soon. So the easiest way to take out enemies I've found is basically just dash into them. Occasionally you'll knock them over, and then you can kill them in melee range. Let me rephrase that. The easiest way to kill enemies with melee. The best plan, however, is to not use melee at all. Alright, we just got some more anti-air things to take out, and then that'll be it for this one. A little Magella or something shooting at me, I think.
This is Oasis. Our federal ground forces are almost in the area. Take out those remaining ground emplacements immediately.
It's over here somewhere. The ammo is a little bit different for each weapon, by the way. The primary weapon never runs out. Secondaries can.
Lieutenant,
That was about it.
the enemy's been completely destroyed. Looks like we won.
This mission turned out to be a piece of cake for guys as good as us.
There were too few of them for a properly deployed defense line. Something's fishy.
What do you mean, Leon? This was all some big feint on the enemy's part? I think you're overthinking things.
Alright, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this one. This was a pretty uneventful first level, but the game gets way crazier from here on out. So, tune in next time, and I will see ya.